From the RNC, from the Republican National Committee, the head of Hispanic Communications is with us, Helen Aguirre Ferre. And Helen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Something we didn't see, as I said, on the horizon. We thought we'd spend the whole day today talking about Mr. Trump's speech this evening in Arizona, but then he surprised us with this trip, and we'll cover it later this hour, we assume, when he lands in Mexico. What was your first reaction when you heard about the trip?
Well, I think it's an opportunity for Mr. Trump to show his leadership skills and to do it on an international framework, which is where he's also done a lot of tremendous and successful business work. So I think this is positive because it starts an important conversation between our two countries when it comes to many points of mutual interest. Immigration is one of them, but also trade. We are pro-trade. Mr. Trump is pro-trade, but he wants to make sure that it's deals that are more positive for the American worker. And let's face it, there's another issue that we don't talk about enough, which has to do with drug trafficking, something that plagues both the United States and Mexico. Okay,
so these two gentlemen meeting today are, quite frankly, unpopular politicians at the moment. People who follow Mexican politics may not realize that President Pena's approval rating, I believe, is in the 20s. I think most people know from following U.S. politics, Mr. Trump's unfavorable ratings have been quite high throughout this. They've said a number of things about each other. Show you that quote that I alluded to from the president of Mexico earlier about Donald Trump, and he said at the time, this strident rhetoric, meaning Trump's rhetoric, has only been a very faithful state in the history of mankind. That's how Mussolini got in. That's how Hitler got in. That was back in March. Of course, Trump had talked about Mexico not sending their best people here. Lots of problems, bringing in the drugs and the crime. They're rapists, and I assume some are good people, he said, on the campaign trail back in June, I believe. So who gains out of this meeting between these two today?
I think the United States is the one that comes out ahead in this meeting, which is the whole purpose of Mr. Trump going to Mexico, where he's going to also be talking to Mexican press, which really shows how confident he is and of the importance of this meeting. And I will remind you that Hillary Clinton hasn't had a press conference in over 270 days, and Mr. Trump isn't afraid or unabashed about his message. So when you look at this, I will tell you one thing, though. Hillary Clinton's favorables amongst women has gone down, and it's one of the lowest. It's only 45%. Donald Trump's numbers in all polls show that he's gone up, and he's tied in key battleground states or ahead. So actually, we're feeling pretty confident with our numbers for the Trump campaign.
The way the numbers are moving, right. She is, the unfavorable numbers are still quite high for both, but you're right, Mrs. Clinton's, which we're about to talk about, have certainly gone up. You mentioned the press. I noticed he didn't bring his own traveling press, which has some upset in the traveling press corps, with him to Mexico, meeting instead with the local press, I guess.
Well, he's going to be dealing with the national press in Mexico, but I think what's really important here is that this conversation starts on a number of issues, and this is done, the best way to do it is to do it face-to-face. So we're going to have conversations about immigration reform. Mexico has very strong immigration laws. You ask anybody from Central America, and they will certainly tell you that. And so these are important points of conversation that we need to have, because we want to have a proper understanding of what's important for the United States and Mexico, of course, on its side.
Finally, Helen, how does it lead into tonight? I mean, what will we see tonight? Will we see, as has been speculated upon, some sort of a softening from Donald Trump, or is that word being misused?
You know, I think that word's being misused. Donald Trump has been very clear that there's going to be no amnesty and there's going to be no citizenship. There will be a physical wall. There will be a physical border between the United States and Mexico in areas that are going to be appropriate. This speech is not going to be a speech that's going to be holistic and totally comprehensive on immigration reform. It starts where it needs to begin, with border security, and it needs to talk about how to deter illegal immigration. That's what this speech is really going to be about.
That's tonight, and we have to get through the visit to Mexico first. Thank you, Helen. Good insight to start us off.
Thank you.